How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts, Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
I'm Chuck Campbell.
And I'm Wayne Bledsoe.
Wayne.
Chuck, come on.
Last week we had a good time with scary movies and films. So we are going to transfer that to scary music and weird music this time, right?
I'm already scared, Chuck.
I'm
just
already
your voice
scared
is
too.
scaring me.
It scares me sometimes as well. It's just the way I am. But we should say that I am so overmatched on this topic because, why don't you explain?
Well, I have had a late night radio show for 19 years, basically. And every Halloween, I would do a Halloween show, and it would either last 4 hours or 3 hours, depending. I cut it down to 3 hours because leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning was killing me. But I did that on a radio station called WDVX, and then later Real Knoxville Music for 19 years. And I have a collection of Halloween horror music that I could play 24 hours worth and not repeat anything.
And in contrast, a few days ago I thought, I wonder if I know any scary music. So I don't, if we were playing a card game, I would just throw in my hand right now. But this isn't a competition.
Well, there's a lot of things that probably we'll talk about that you'll think, oh, I forgot about that if I mention them, but you'll probably say things too. I mean, I've always been like, I want to hear, if you got a scary song, I want to hear it.
Well, you've either definitely heard of it to death or you haven't heard it from the songs I've got. But we'll talk about it. So
all right.
maybe there'll be something that you have. And I can start first if you want me to.
You kick it off.
All right. This one's a surprise because it's really, really old. And keep in mind now, my older sister's like a decade older than I am. And there was this song that she used to sing to scare me when I was a little kid. And that was... They're coming to take me away. Ha-ha.
That guy called me on the phone
by
one time.
Napoleon 14, right? Jerry Samuels is his name. So here's the thing. What's scary to you is going to depend on your perspective, right? And when you're a little kid with a mean big sister who's like singing this song to you, I wasn't even aware of it being like a radio song or anything like that for the longest time. And I had like... I don't know, some friend of mine, they had an older brother or sister who had this single or something and would play it to scare us.
It was a hit.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I did some research on this. It's like, oh, that was actually a hit song. It was like a top 10 hit in the U.S. and Britain and maybe Germany. And so that was interesting. So anyway, I was branded to be afraid of that song by my sister. So before I was even aware that it was a song that was a hit and all that stuff. And then... one thing it played into, the movie Psycho. Right. Of course, I hadn't seen that. That was before I was born and all that stuff. But I'd heard of it. Right. So I was already, and this is something that I think what we're doing now with being more sensitive to like mental illness and stuff like that. That this songs and stuff probably wouldn't have been put out there the way they were because I was terrified of anyone with psychosis. Without even really understanding it. And I was just convinced that a psychotic person was going to break into my house and stab me to death, someone I didn't even know. Right. So it was like this fear I lived with, which, isn't fair. I also looked this up. Most people with some form of psychosis are not a danger to anybody except perhaps themselves. Don't be in fear of people who are psychotic. I also learned... when I was younger about neurotics and neuroses. And I learned to accept that as just normal people who are just having a thing. But for some reason, I always had this deep fear, thanks to, media fun. I had deep, terrified fear of psychotics.
Well, it was a common trope that had gone on. I mean, I don't know when it started, but I mean, you've got stories from, the 1800s and up So it's a trope.
And I got to say that this guy, I mean, it was a novelty song, okay, I get it, and it was a joke, and I get it, but when you're a little kid, it's like, oh my God, and it had the sirens in it too, so that was terrifying, and he was unhinged in the song, he was like driving his voice up, like every time he'd go through another verse, and it was pretty clever too, the way, basically, he's dumped by his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, and guys in white jackets are coming to take him away to a funny farm, as he says. I used air quotes there, people.
And they speed up the music. They speed it up as it goes on.
They speed up the voice, and the sirens got louder and more invasive. Well, and then it has one more little twist to it, and that is my sister, when she was in her early 20s, she was married. She had a little boy who was like 3.
Right.
And I was like in between their ages, so I was like maybe a teenager, but not old enough to drive. And the 3 of us went to Florida for vacation. It was just something she wanted to do. Her husband was in the Army, and he was stationed somewhere doing training or away, so she wanted to take us to the beach. And we went. And we got rattled toward the end. I don't know why I'm going into this story. Anyway, my nephew is building sandcastles, and he asked her if he could wash his hands. And she thought he was going to go down to the ocean, and I was at the ocean. So she said, sure.
Yeah.
And then she got up, and she came down and was like, where's her nephew? And I said, I don't know. And we lost him.
Oh, my gosh.
And she went up to the hotel, and she was sobbing and asked me to look in the water to see if I could find his body.
Oh,
I mean, it was
God.
like really, really dramatic. I can laugh about it now. And, we asked the lifeguard, and then I went up to the hotel, and he had gone up to the hotel. This little kid, little toddler, gone up to the hotel, no keys to get in any room, and this adult brother and sister found him, and they didn't know what to do with him, so they gave him a candy bar. And anyway, it was very rattling. It wiped out my sister, and she's like, let's go home early. So we went home like that night, driving overnight to Tennessee from Florida. So, and of course, my nephew was asleep in the back, and then I fell asleep in the passenger seat, and she pulled over, and she was going to try to get a little bit of rest in South Georgia, which is already a scary place. Sorry, Valdosta, but you know who you are. I like South Georgia, I do, but. So I woke up with "They're Coming to Take Me Away" on the radio, and I was disoriented and I was scared. So I woke her up, and that scared her. So we were both up there rattled and scared, and what do we do? And we're in a car, and that song's on, and we're just somewhere in Georgia. And then the sirens came on, and then when the sirens came on that last time, her son was bolt upright and just screamed, pull over, Mommy, pull over. He thought the sirens were pulling us over. God. And then she said, we're not being pulled over. We're not being. He goes, well, drive, Mom. So I think it was a little bit of revenge and a little bit of fear and some revenge on my sister. But anyway, long roundabout story. I know the song's a novelty, and I know it's funny. Oh, and the video. The guy made a video, and he looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. So that just made me scared all over again. So anyway, it's a funny song.
He called me up one time.
Really?
When I was writing a column. He had some new release, his first release in 30 years or something.
Right.
And I can't remember what it was. I don't know if he actually sent it to me, but he was asking me if I would do something because I was writing that column. And, I just heard from him that one time. That was it. And I don't think he ever sent me the thing he was talking about, but it was some kind of topical thing. But, in an interesting trivia, do you know what the B-side of that single was?
No idea.
That song played backwards.
Oh, wow. Wow. I've been spooked by people who do that. You know, it's like when you go and you find out, there was a Laurie Anderson song, I think, example number 22 or something like that. And I had it on vinyl, of course, and I recognized the backward voice, and I went it backwards, and it said something and it said it was in red magic marker.
Well, the Beatles did that on the White Album. Back when I was a kid, I was 8 when the White Album came out. I think I got it the next year, and I was playing it backwards, on the turntable, trying to hear everything that they said. Yeah, but that's backward masking stuff always sounds spooky.
It sounds like a foreign language that a ghost is speaking, And so yes, but anyway, all right, that's my little goofball song that everybody should know.
Well, I have, none of these I can say actually scared me. I can't remember any song that I was, when I was young that really.
Well, you weren't with my sister in South Georgia now, were you?
losing your kid.
With Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, really.
And with Cocaine Bear.
Well, the first one I'm going to bring up is a song that my late wife found this album in a giveaway bin at a little used record store in Oak Ridge. And it's called I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night by the band Deviled Ham. And side two, and I didn't know anything about this band until recently, but side two is a combination of a cover of the Electric Prunes, I Had Too Much of a Dream Last Night, combined with the theme music from Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
Combined with the lead singer reciting The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
It lasts 20 minutes, and it will drive anybody out of the room. It's glorious. Okay. This guy gets more and more into it as the song goes on, as the poem goes on, and by the end of it, he's shrieking at the top of his lungs, "Nevermore! Nevermore!" And it's like, I mean, if you need to empty out a party, it works as well as a Yoko Ono record. And I actually like Yoko Ono now, but it will clear out a room.
Oh, why'd you change your mind about Yoko?
Well, actually I got that box set by Yoko to review. Wow. And it's like there was a lot of good stuff on it. And then the one I always cited was Why, which is 5 minutes of her screaming why at the top of her lungs. And about the time I turned 40, I thought, I can relate to this now. Now it makes sense.
You're just too young for it before.
Have you ever played Yoko Ono backwards?
I haven't.
I hear she sounds like George Harrison for sure.
we ought to try that as an experiment. I've like I said, I've got like a box set of Yoko Ono, so we could listen to it. But it turns out, I did so, and some more weird stuff about this. This came out on a subsidiary of Buddha Records.
Okay.
They're kind of bubblegum label.
All bubblegum back then, nearly. It was like the 1910 Fruit Gun Company and the Ohio Express, Yummy, Yummy, Yummy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
So it's this crazy psychedelic record that came out on this. And then I finally found, I've searched for ages trying to find out any information because you couldn't find this Deviled Ham. They released one album. Nobody knew about it. Now it's like it goes for like tons of money on the, collector circuits. But it turned out it was a Rhode Island band called the Ascots, who later became the Whitewash. And they got some regional hits going, and they recorded this in 1968 because they had put this into their stage show, and it was became really popular around the area.
Right.
Because it was just so wild and crazy. And they actually even recorded like this little promotional video that I found today, which is like 8 minutes of, clips from the album and, clips from their concert performances. And it's crazy and fun.
Wow.
But yeah, they were a band that they recorded this in 1968, and then the record company was like, we're going to go in a different direction. Right. And it didn't come out for 2 years, and the band had already broken up by then and started doing other things. And then they release it, and of course, there's no promotion, there's no nothing, and it comes out in the cutout bins and winds up in free record
in Oak Ridge, in your hands.
Ends up in Wayne's collection.
Yeah,
and it's rooms out at your parties.
And my late wife used to love to put it on and drive people crazy, and I did the same thing. It's like I would play it every Halloween at some point in the 3 or 4 hours. And it always had people calling.
And you say this is a 24-minute song?
No, it's 20 minutes. It's about 20 minutes. It takes up the entire second side.
And this is John Baker. You hear? We always try to introduce him. He's our engineer. Hey there.
And the first voice you hear when you turn on this podcast.
And the first voice and last voice you hear on this podcast. Right. So
try and make a good impression.
Well, it works for us. You bookend all the stuff we garble on about. So
there's one for you.
Okay. Yeah,
and
I'll
I think
right
you'd
out
like
and get that.
You'd like? No, I really do kind of think
you think I would like it.
I do because you would just be shaking your head through the whole thing.
Yeah, for 20 minutes though.
Well, the best thing to do with that
we
one.
Have like a miniature version or like a 2-minute.
You've got to go through the whole 20 minutes.
Okay.
But watching people's expressions while it's on, that is the best thing. It is so much like a John Waters movie. You only see a John Waters movie once because from there on out, if you see it again, you're watching whoever's with you.
Do you remember, I'm going to mention her again or them again, but Susie and the Banshees, The Lord's Prayer.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a really long, she was doing the World's Prayer, and she would slip into Muhammad Ali, would be like, float like a butterfly, sing like a bee.
It was totally unhinged.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, let me take a stab at something you've certainly not heard of, and it's just I think it's just a good, scary, creepy song. And there are different types of scary too. And I was kind of going through that and eliminating stuff, but this one is the group 12 Rounds.
Oh no, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, and it was a British group in the late 90s, and they had a song called "Me Again." Now, you have heard of the frontman for 12 Rounds, and that is Atticus Ross, who worked with Trent Reznor a lot in Nine Inch Nails, did film music, and did just these really bleak industrial type soundscapes. And the vocalist is his wife, Claudia Sarn or Sarnay. I'm not sure how the E on her name is pronounced. And it's just very menacing and stalking, and it evokes like thoughts of cannibalism. And you're not sure what she's getting at, which is creepy because you know it's something bad, and she's like lines like, red is calling in the dead of night. Let's see, saw you falling the same. You saw you falling like some fallen star, like fodder for the feed. And it's just like chilly, and it's got this just real kind of, that's just me again. That's just me again. So it's like a kind of a zombie cannibal. And it's just, I love that kind of music. Actually, in doing all this, for some reason, I discovered that from my perspective, most scary songs came out in the 90s for some reason, not before or after. And I think that might be because what's scary, not necessarily the right word, but kind of emphatic and dark to me, is when there was the big crash between aggressive rock and aggressive electronics, and when they were mashed together. That was a real driving force in the 90s that you don't hear as much before or after the 90s.
Well, I find a lot of electronic music, that's meant to be scary, but it's funny because I don't find death metal scary at all.
Yeah, well, this isn't really death metal, but it's just some kind of, you're not really sure what the instrumentation is, but it's just something dark. It's something but anyway, that song, it just stuck with me when I heard it and I reviewed it, and I still 26 years later, I still like to listen to it and just let her, it's hypnotic.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Well, just hypnotic, and it's like you're being primed by a cannibal to be devoured.
Well, gosh, there's so many tangents I could go off on.
I know.
About.
Going to blow your mind today.
Yeah, well, but let's start with the electronic stuff, because one of the things that I always play that I find to be the most unnerving song maybe ever. Well, there's two actually, but the first one is Throbbing Gristle's Hamburger Lady.
Yeah.
Which is just, you put it on and the hair starts standing up on the back of my neck. And it's really spooky. And it was inspired by a woman who was badly burned.
Yeah.
But the way they do it, and of course Throbbing Gristle can get under your skin anyway. That's that's their job.
Yeah.
And
do you remember industrial music and test department and the kind of stuff they did? It was like, I would always be compelled and repulsed and couldn't turn it off, but didn't know why I was listening or what I was trying to get from it. But that's the way this music is. It just demands your attention and usually gets it.
Yeah, and that was like early '80s and late '70s. I think Throbbing Gristle had been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But then the other one is "Come to Daddy" by Aphex Twin.
Oh, that's one of my shortcuts.
Oh, okay.
I got a list of shortcuts, and I had Aphex Twin, "Come to Daddy."
Well,
are you talking about just about the music, or
and the video?
And
the video is terrifying.
And the video, yes, it is.
If people have never seen it, it has Richard D. James' face put on all these little children, everybody in the video.
Right.
And
no, there's an old woman in the video, and that's like the worst part of all. You got these little kids, mostly girls, with his face, and he is Aphex Twin. That's the name he uses. But and it's just all dark, and they're running down streets, and in like a little mob of little girls with his face.
And he's on the TV screen. There's a TV screen, an old-fashioned TV.
Yeah, but then as the song goes on and he transforms into this, moving creature, and he's like elongated body and thin, and he just gets in this poor old woman's face and just starts just like all balled up, in this terror, just gets right in her face and just starts yelling at her.
He starts screaming, "I will eat your soul."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
And this old woman out in the street is just like, recoiling from him, and it's I had that down as a something I would pop out there, just short mention. Well, I'm glad you brought it up.
Oh yeah, well I think it's a terrifying video, and the song is really scary.
Yeah, it's good when you got a good video and a good song matched.
Well, we're going to agree on something already.
Yeah, there we go. We just agreed on one.
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah. Well, are you going on then, or?
I can go on because you mentioned something about cannibalism. I wanted to say there's a really sweet song. I mean, you're talking about the 90s being scary songs.
Right.
The early 70s is when things got on the radio that were creepy.
Right.
But
all the drugs they were doing back then.
It was a lot of it's drugs. But the song "Timothy" by the Boys is, as far as I know, the only hit about cannibalism, because it's about miners who were trapped. And the last line, I mean, they're talking about Timothy. The chorus is, "Timothy, Timothy, where on earth did you go? Timothy, Timothy, God, why don't I know?" And you get to the end of it, and the singer says, "My stomach was full as it could be, and nobody ever got around to finding Timothy."
Well, there was a hit cannibal song by Kesha, and it's called "Cannibal," and you ought to check it out. And she's like, she got blasted because she made a reference to Jeffrey Dahmer, which, insensitivity to victims of a murder, blah blah blah. But she just kind of made I forget what it is, real bouncy, buoyant, but like driven,
right?
And she's a cannibal in it. So anyway,
we could do a whole show just on songs about serial killers and stuff. Sufjan Stevens has one that a John Wayne Gacy song that I find it's beautiful and so scary. It's not scary so much as it makes me feel sick by the end of it, and part of it is because it's so pretty.
Right.
But, you're talking about how things were so less sensitive then. Sick humor that really developed in the 50s more than anything.
Right.
Carried on up until fairly recently, and now it's
forbidden. Yeah, and it's like I said, I mean, I get it. I get that, they're coming to take me away. I mean, I know it's just done for entertainment purposes and everything, but to just stigmatize people who are already having problems, so it's like, it took me a while not to be absolutely terrified of anyone who might be psychotic.
Right. But you have, a history of like murder ballads and things in music. And I mean, here in Knoxville, we have one of the most famous.
I knew you were going to bring this one up.
Well, of course, because
it is genuinely regarded as one of the scariest songs.
Yeah.
Knoxville Girl, by the way, is what we're talking about.
Yeah, Knoxville Girl is one of the most famous and oldest murder ballads ever written, and of course it was like a writer in England, Paul Slade, researched it down to find out where it actually came from, and it came from a murder that happened in the late 1600s in England.
Right.
And he has the names and everything about it. It started as the Bloody Butcher and transformed into different songs, and eventually the Knoxville Girl.
Right.
And my favorite version of it is by the Lemonheads.
Oh. I didn't know they did a version.
They do a really good version.
Didn't Costello do a version?
Well,
when a lot of people have.
When I showed Elvis Costello around town, around Knoxville, that time he played that at the Tennessee Theater that night. But yeah, he did it on stage. Nick Cave recorded a version, of course.
Yeah. Right.
How could he pass that up?
Murder ballads with what? Kylie Minogue?
He did a whole album of murder ballads.
Yeah.
And the Knoxville Girl was like a hidden track. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Or it was a hidden track or like a bonus track or something. It wasn't on the actual lineup.
And I think the lyrics have been changed just through time, because the current sort of bluegrass version, it just makes no sense. He's walking around with a girl that he loves, and the next thing you know, he's smacking her down with a branch.
Well, see, that's always been one of the mysteries about why did he do it.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about marriage, and what you can assume is that he doesn't want to marry her, and of course, the older versions, before it became Knoxville Girl, there's like verse after verse after verse after verse. And what happened in reality, apparently, is he'd gotten this girl pregnant and didn't want to marry her and killed her.
Oh, pregnancy.
Yeah. But, then you've got...
The scary thing of all.
children.
Sends fear through every man.
But you got Banks of the Ohio where the guy stabs the woman to death. And in fact, in one of the versions, I think it's maybe one of the Bloody Butcher versions, he beats her to death and stabs her in the head. It's
cool. Just to make sure.
Yeah, just to make sure.
It's like when you run over a
It's
snake.
easy to stab someone in the head, too. It's mostly bone.
Yeah. I know. But you got to really put it in
hit
there.
it in the right spot. Yeah. It's like when you run over a snake, you're supposed to back over it.
No, you're not. You're supposed to avoid snakes.
You're a snake friend, yeah.
Yes.
You've got a pet snake.
I have a pet snake, okay. Susie, and she's a corn snake.
Susan?
Susie.
Susie.
And she's very sweet. She's never tried to bite. Never. I mean, I've had her for years now.
Does she sleep with you?
No, she doesn't sleep with me. I wouldn't. The only thing if she got out in the house that I would worry about is like if I leaned back in the recliner or something and she'd gotten in the gears.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I've had a little snake loose in the house before, but I found him on the back of the couch sunning himself.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I like snakes.
I have no problems with snakes. Actually,
Good.
I'm a critter lover.
You like everybody. You like all
I
animals.
I can't kill a spider, so I'm not a bad guy.
You
Stop
won't even
staring at me.
All right, what else
I'm
you
not going to
got?
hurt your snake snoozer. Okay, so this one I want to break out because it's someone I mentioned like in one of our first episodes, and I had to come back to her. That's P.J. Harvey, Polly Jean Harvey.
She's scary.
She
just
had
on her
scary song after scary song. She had a spate of songs in the 90s, and so I was going to just pluck off a few of those. The first one was in '93 from the album "Rid of Me." The song "Rid of Me." Do you remember that?
I'm not. I remember liking that album, but I can't remember it.
Plucky, low burn, where she's just saying, "You're not rid of me. You're not rid of me." And she's just saying that, and she goes, I'll tie your legs, keep you against my chest. I'll make you lick my injuries. I'm going to twist your head off, see?" So it's just like this real low, and that's what I like about her is she just kind of simmers, and she doesn't just like, usually she doesn't just belt. She's just like kind of like this menace, this quiet menace that you can't get away from. And the interesting thing about it is like there's this falsetto screech in it too that's like a counter vocal. And it's just like, lick my legs, I'm on fire, lick my legs of desire. And you think, is that P.J. Harvey? And apparently it was on the demo, but on the album, it's her drummer, Robert Ellis. And the song is like building up where she's just going, "Don't you wish you never met her? Don't you wish you never met her?" And then she stops and the music stops, and you just have this Ellis guy, Robert Ellis, going, "Lick my legs of desire," and just like in this real high screeching kind of, and then the song ends. So that's one of her pleasant songs. In '95, the album "To Bring You My Love," that had the song "Down by the Water." And you'll be interested to know, if you don't already, that it's based on Leadbelly's American folk song "Salty Dog Blues."
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she's using more of an electronic sound. "Rid of Me" was really rock, and this is more electronic and rock and strings, and it's more orchestrated. And it's a song she's playing the woman who drowns her daughter in the water. I don't know if it's a lake or a river or what. And then she gets into this little kind of neurotic binge where she's going, "Big fish, little fish, swimming in the water, come back here and bring me my daughter." It's like she wants the fish to bring the body of her daughter back to her. So, motherly love. And that album also has the song "Meet the Monster." I love that song. Yeah. It's just so aggressive. It's only scary because of how intense it is, and she's like, basically she's facing down any storm and she's not afraid of anything. And it builds and it builds to this big climactic kind of yelping kind of thing. Let me see if I wrote anywhere, and they just like, hell ain't half full, take me with you, you know. And I like that song because it's a motivator for me. Like anytime I've had like an argument with one of our coworkers, you would probably know one I had most arguments with, or something like that. I would just go and sit in my car and listen to it. Man, I'd come in just ready for war with anybody.
Right.
You know? So some of those times when I disappeared and came back with, you know, my jaw clenched, it was PJ Harvey.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like if I
What
wanted
does
to
it
ask
mean?
for a raise or something, you know, I just felt like all powerful.
Yeah.
That song is my supernatural power, so
Huh.
I recommend it. And then finally, from 1998, her "Is This Desire" album, there was a song called "My Beautiful Leah," and it's really. Again, it's bleak. The song is so distorted. Her voice is distorted, and just all of the, I don't even know where the guitars and keyboards merge or whatever, but it's just this kind of rubbed distortion. And she's singing about a woman who is always alone, even when she is with someone, and she's always looking for someone. And it talks about her lovely face getting twisted, you know, and how this beautiful woman is like becoming kind of a beast and everything. And I love this line. She only had nightmares, and her sadness never lifted. And she was always looking for someone.
Uh-huh.
And at the end, the last line is, she said, this beautiful Leah, who was always on a quest to find somebody, you know, she goes, if I don't find it this time, then I'm better off dead. And that song just stops. Okay, cool. Well, so that's my girl, PJ Harvey, 90s PJ Harvey. It's hard to beat that for aggressive, you know, aggro rock.
I agree. She is scary no matter. Just hearing her interview, she was scary. Polly Jean.
PJ Harvey is the name of her band.
Well, I'm going to recommend somebody that I've recommended before. But it's because my very favorite song to play on Halloween is Mike Craver's song "Waiting for the Coming Storm," which is about an indentured servant. It's a great Gothic song.
Okay.
About an indentured servant who's worked for this family. He falls in love with the daughter, and the daughter marries a layabout who works her to death, and she eventually dies. And he kills the husband. He slits his throat and cuts out his eyes and leaves him in the cornfield for the family to find.
Oh, wow, nice.
It's beautiful.
Cherry, I like that.
Great. Yeah, it's a love story.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like love stories with a happy ending, you know.
But Mike has a lot of those, you know, kind of morbid songs because he's written several plays that have this mortician in character in it. And my other favorite that I play a lot is called Stuffed People, which is about taxidermying people. It's really funny.
That's him?
Really that's him.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd like Mike.
Okay.
We always have, on the way to the beach, we always stop and have lunch with Mike because he lives in North Carolina. But,
oh, cool.
yeah, but he's one of my favorite singer-songwriters, and it is absolutely my favorite Halloween song.
Okay.
But,
I like that.
You know, another thing that I thought I would bring up that I always played two songs together on the radio, and you'll know the first one for sure, Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's spooky and, you know, one of the great goth classics of all time.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that song's about 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
You don't think about how long it is when it's on.
Right.
But it's got the build-up is like a minute and a half to 2 minutes before Peter Murphy starts singing.
Right.
But I always
That's a good one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah, and it starts off, if you've seen The Hunger, it's like at the
Yeah.
very beginning of The Hunger, and it sets you on edge before that movie really gets going.
Yeah.
Because it's showing Bauhaus performing intercut with like things at a lab where a monkey tears another monkey to pieces.
I don't like that.
Well, it was, but it's.
I don't like animals getting
the
killed.
monkeys didn't die.
Okay.
It's not, you know,
All right.
the dead monkey is not a real monkey. And plus, I mean, for me, it was a great movie because I got to see Susan Sarandon and Catherine Deneuve have sex, and they were both at their peaks. They were.
Yeah, that's what. Who was
David Bowie?
My
David
friend
Bowie's
David
in
Bowie.
it.
Yeah,
and he's really creepy too. It's
I
great.
agree with that. Oh, you're talking about in the movie.
I love David Bowie. But anyway, I would play that along with Alice Cooper's The Ballad of Dwight Fry, which Dwight Fry was the character who played Renfield
Okay.
beside Bela Lugosi in the
Right.
original Dracula.
Right.
And there was, urban legend. I think that he ended up in a mental institution and all these bad
Right.
things happened. But I don't think that's true. But in the song, he gets loose,
Renfield?
goes crazy. Yeah,
Well,
Renfield.
Renfield was in the Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was
Well, he's a character. I mean, he's
who played him in
Tom Waits.
Yeah, Tom Waits. Yeah.
Tom Waits in the Francis Ford Coppola version.
Yeah, he did a good job with that.
Yeah, but Dwight Frye, he played Renfield in Dracula. He played Fritz in the original Frankenstein, and then he was making, he was the voyeur in nudie cuties later on because he couldn't get work, and he was
Nudie cuties.
yeah, that's what they called them.
What were nudie cuties?
Nudie cuties were the little short stag films where they would show nudity.
Okay.
And you would
Where would you see this?
Well, people would rent them secretly from different places and show them at stag
Okay.
parties and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, they were out there. There was there were porno movies from the 20s. As soon as they got
Should
cameras,
we do
with porno.
a show on porno movies from the 20s?
I probably could. I know some of the history. Yeah,
You know so many things, Wayne.
so many things that don't really matter, but yeah, a lot of it. But Alice Cooper, of course, started out with it didn't start out with a horse shtick. That came with the third album, Love It to Death, which that song is on. But yeah, my older sister was a big influence too. But she had a party one night, and one of her friends left all his albums that he brought over to play, because that's what you used to do. You used to take your albums over to, people's houses and just put a bunch of things on. But he left Love It to Death and Killer, 2 Alice Cooper albums, and I was 11 or 12, and it was my mind just was blown, because this is I was reading, famous monsters of filmland and seeing horror movies, and here was an act that actually used horror in their music.
Right. That's cool. Well, should I plow into shortcuts already?
Well, whatever you want. I mean, I've got a few things I can talk about, but
Well, I've got little things.
Okay.
So this is one of the ones that I ruled out, but it's probably the most disquieting song I know.
Really?
Even if it's not openly, it's not for fun.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I probably shouldn't use this. And I thought, well, it's really, I don't know what gets darker than this, and it's Strange Fruit. Billie Holiday, Nina Simone, so many other artists have done it. I mean, it's really a grim look at lynchings of people of color, of black people in the South.
And Columbia Records wouldn't release it, so she had to go to a little independent label.
Billie.
Yeah.
She was the first one, right?
She was the first one to record it.
But I mean, it's like everybody, Jeff Buckley and Annie Lennox, and I mean, you just go down the list, and Jill Scott, and there's so many people who've covered that song. But it's really, I don't know, the fictional stories and everything are scary and everything, but I don't know what hits harder than just fact, and to basically the song portrays, lynched people as strange fruit in the poplar trees in the South, and at least with Nina Simone and Billie Holiday, I don't know how everybody else did it, honestly, but it's just point blank, just kind of flat. This is what happened. Yeah. So that song's always one that you have to be ready for, but again, it's not really for fun. So I was going to rule it out, and I thought, no, I want to mention it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great song, and it's scary in a very different way.
Yeah,
it's not.
It is.
I mean, and some of the other songs about real murders and stuff.
Sure,
those are not really they're scary, but they're not. You don't exactly enjoy them.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to enjoy a dark history lesson,
right?
But it's well done, and it's really poignant. So. And I was going to go from that to Aphex Twin to lighten the mood, but we just talked about Aphex Twin, so I'm going to talk about another favorite group of mine, Susie and the Banshees, which I mentioned. And they've had so many good horror songs. That's been kind of their ethic, and they had like Cities in Dust, which is about Pompeii, and Peekaboo, which is really a song about strippers and just the creepy guys who pay to see them, and Happy House. I mean, they've had many, like, haunted type songs, but they did one and I don't know if you know this one, but it's Rawhead and Bloody Bones. Did you ever hear that?
I've not heard the song. I know the legend.
There is a legend,
Yeah.
and there's a short. There are a couple of shorts. There's like a stop motion short or something like that that's done to their song.
Huh.
And then there's another film short that's a little girl, at home, and so those exist too.
Well, there's a movie called Rawhead Rex that's based on that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is it's a real shift in tone for Susie and the Banshees because it's real subtle, and it's Susie and just like a little synth, and it's like a children's song, and she's reading like a children's song, and she's talking about how these two creatures with fangs and claws are capturing kids who've misbehaved, and you're not sure if the kids are alive or dead. I don't know what you know about that, but they've been taken away,
Right.
and dragged away, and hidden in cupboards and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's really eerie, and it's because it's such a easy kind of like it lures you in. It kind of seduces you into this children's song feel, and you're like, oh wow, this is really a terrible thing to do to kids in general. So I wouldn't do that. But I always like Susie Sue. I have another one. This is
Go ahead.
just, again, another quick diversion. Like I say, there's so many weird and terrifying ways that dark music can hit you.
Right.
And this one is just by a group called Dink. And I interviewed them and saw them. I don't even remember who they were opening for.
I don't know
It
at
may
all.
have been Everlast or something like that. But it was 1993. And they had a song called The Heroine Song.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I asked what it was about, and it was it wasn't the main singer. And the main singer said, well, it's about a guy in their band, he wrote it, and it's just about, it's like this propulsive, electrocuted rock song, and it's just about being addicted to heroin and not having anything to live for.
Right.
And that your whole life is just getting high and getting high and getting high, and you can't get out of it. And so...
We could do a whole show on heroin songs.
Oh yeah, heroin songs, drug addiction songs. But it's got that, like I said, I was talking about the aggressive rock and aggressive electronics. It's that
Right.
clash, and so it's like this big rolling, propulsive song. And he's just like this guy who's just kind of at his end and doesn't have anything or any reason to live. And he says, I've got my needle and I've got my spoon and I'm going to lay it out on a picture of you or something like that. Anyway, that always like dark. Oh, I'm getting darker and darker here. So, and then there was but so I'm going to take a light one here. This is, I think, the best hoax, and you're going to know this too right away. But it's from the song was 75 or 76. Love Roller Coaster by the Ohio Players
We all
with
heard
a
that.
scream in the middle of the song.
Supposedly someone getting stabbed.
Yes, it's either, I saw it was either a woman being murdered in the next room or in the control room or the studio over, or by contrast, the model on the album cover being
Right.
poured with like scalding hot honey. And it's just this unearthly scream in the middle of everything. And all the guys are doing different noises like, huh, huh, and stuff like that. And it was just one of the guys in the band. It wasn't even a woman.
Oh, yeah.
And he just was like screeching. But they played off of it. And people were like, oh, my God, there's a woman being murdered in the middle of that song.
Yeah.
So everyone wanted to hear it and hear her scream. And they were all scared by it. And it took a while for the band to kind of come clean with that and say, nah, it's just...
But that's part of what it was like in the 70s, because you couldn't go find out.
Right, yeah. There was no fact checking.
No, and there was no place to go. You couldn't go to the library and find it. It was word of mouth.
Right.
I was thinking of earlier when we were talking about songs that were hits. There was a song called DOA.
Okay.
Which came out in about 72, and they finally stopped playing it on the radio. But it depicts I guess a plane crash, because it's either a plane crash or a car crash.
Right.
But everybody thought, oh, these are real sounds,
yeah.
and this is a real story, and it's a creepy song. It's by Blood Rock, and the single version is like 3 minutes, I think, and of course it ends with a siren where the ambulance is coming to collect the person that's singing, about dying, bleeding to death, dying.
Right.
But the full length version is 8 minutes long.
Oh man.
And
all these long songs.
Oh yeah, but it's great. And I loved playing it on the radio because people would always remember, oh, I remember being a little kid and hearing that song, and it was like, and it was creepy.
I love Roller Coaster.
It's a great song.
I love Roller Coaster, and I love the Ohio Players, and it is a great song, and it's nothing scary about the song otherwise, you know. But every time I hear that, I still think, this still sounds like a woman being murdered. I don't care what they say. This is a woman being murdered.
No. well, I want to bring up an old song because I was about to bring it up earlier. There's a song that dates back to at least the beginning of the 1600s and probably the 1500s.
Wow.
It was called Three Ravens. It turned into a song called Twa Corbies. And there's tons of different versions of it. But it is
after...
Yeah, I mean,
years.
It's been recorded by all these folk artists and different rock artists and things that have recorded it. But my favorite version is by Maddie Pryor. And she has this really big organ. It sounds like, Phantom of the Opera type, organ. And the song is about two ravens deciding what corpse they're going to pick.
Oh, wow.
And it talks, they're discussing, picking out his eyes and all this other stuff. There's a knight in the original version.
Right.
And he's guarded by his dogs, but his dogs have gone off, and his girlfriend her wife has already found somebody else, and they're just going to go pick his bones clean. But they're describing how much fun it's going to be. How much they're going to enjoy it. And it's creepy as hell.
Nice. Well, I have other things I can talk about, but...
Well, let me throw one more out, and then we'll
just go ahead.
No, well, I was going to bring up Tom Lehrer because of the 50s sick humor thing. That's where the sick jokes and everything started. But Tom Lehrer was a comic singer-songwriter who went to Harvard and studied math, but released a bunch of songs kind of under the table that became like big cult things in the beginning of cult music.
Right.
And eventually became very popular. And a couple of his best songs, there's one called I Hold Your Hand in Mine, which by the time you get to the end of the song, you realize, well, it's the night you died, I cut it off. I really don't know why. And each time that I kiss it, I get bloodstains on my tie.
Oh, wow. Wow. That sounds like a psycho that would kill me in my bedroom at
yes,
night.
It does. But he's also got an Irish ballad in which it's like a girl, Nick Cave did a thing later called The Curse of Millhaven, which is very similar.
Right.
But it goes through how the people this girl has killed. And it's really funny and really, really sick. But Tom Lehrer, it's Lehrer.
Okay. Tom Lehrer in the 50s.
In the 50s. Actually, it started. Well, he became a math professor. And my friend Sneaky Pete Rizzo, who also is a great novelty song writer and has written a bunch of good horror songs, but he went and visited him, spent an afternoon with him one time, and said he was just great and just everything he hoped he would be. But he was still living last time I checked, but he's got to be in his late 90s if he's still alive. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think the Napoleon 14 just died maybe last year or so.
Yeah, it seems like I saw.
It's pretty recent.
Yeah, but Tom Lehrer was, a lot of people knew him. He had a TV show for a short period of time called That Was the Week That Was. And his stuff is, he's got, maybe his most popular song is Poisoning Pigeons in the Park.
Oh, God.
Like I said, it's really sick humor, but it's really
not funny when it's an animal.
We worked with the outdoor writer who was just furious over the song, the hunting song, which he talks about killing. Accidentally killing whatever. He's just going out and makes really severe fun of hunters, and it's really funny.
Right.
But he hated it. He had no sense of humor.
Well, yeah. I think I know who you're talking about, don't I?
The younger one of the two.
Okay.
Was the outdoor writer, yeah.
Yeah. The one whose face would get red sometimes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and his face got red talking about it. It was hilarious.
But a good guy, actually. He was really pretty
good guy,
funny.
but it was so funny, and he just had no humor for it at all.
No.
All right. Okay.
Well, there's one weird song. I'll go ahead and mention it.
Okay.
Jane Seabury. The Bird in the Gravel.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, it's at the end of the Walking album.
I've got that one.
Okay, well, it's a story, and she's playing these different voices,
Uh-huh.
and it's weird. It's not really scary, but there's basically it's an estate, and first you hear the owner of the estate just saying, "This is my land, and this is the forest, my trees, and here's my tea coming," and then like a waiter, a butler comes in, and he's just doing this whole other bend. Now I have to bend, blah blah
Right.
blah. So it's different characters, and then they go down into the kitchen where all the people are bustling about and making apple stuff and everything. And it ends up, I guess Jane Seabury is like walking in the forest and all the leaves are brown, but they haven't fallen off the trees. And it's just like something weird's happening. Then it finally leads up to this point where there's a boy who's like one of the keepers of horses or something like that. And he's walking out in the woods, and it's at night, and he's walking through the leaves. And it's just gets really strange, and he's saying, he's looking for his swans, and he can't find his swans because it's so dark. And this is just like the whole thing. It just keeps just getting weirder and weirder. And then with the personal thing, I always like to I had my black German Shepherd, Banshee, my girl, God rest your soul, Banshee. But that song always got her riled, and she would go and she would stand at the speakers, and you know how the shepherds have the really long pointy ears, and her ears would just go straight up, and her head would go this way and that way and this way and that way, and she was just like laser focused every time I played that song. So the extra excitement for me was waiting for that part to show up so my dog would freak out, and then it would get me titillated and scared too.
That's strange.
But anyway, that's just a weird song, Jane Seabury, The Bird in the Gravel, and she made a little video about it that doesn't make it make any more sense. So.
I guess I didn't pay enough attention to the lyrics when I was listening to it.
Yeah.
But I like her stuff.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we will be talking about her more.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
have your recommendations? Or you want me to
I do have recommendations.
Oh, wait, John.
I've got just three and a half sort of creepy things that I came up when y'all were talking about stuff. One is a song by Death Cab for Cutie, and it's a song called "I Will Possess Your Heart." And it's just creepy because he's singing to his beloved, and at first it sounds like, he's talking about all the familiar things that she does and how she goes to do these things, and I assume I don't know. But ultimately you realize that he does not know this person, or she does not know him. And he's kind of like watching her from afar and following her, and he just keeps saying, one of these days I'm going to possess your heart.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to own you.
Right.
So songs like that are creepy.
It's a good song. And then there's the Decemberists album called The Hazards of Love, and really it's an inspirational album for me, but because
all right, we're worried now.
Singer,
we're worried now. It's an inspirational song for you. It's a scary song.
Well, it inspired an album that I wrote.
Okay.
But which was a horror album, and turned into a horror movie.
Yeah.
But in this, it's a story about a young man who comes from wealthy parents and everything, and he falls in love with a low-born girl, and his parents never are going to approve. But she's hot, and he loves her, and so he marries her. But then pretty soon she starts spilling out babies, and he's got way more responsibility than he wants. And then in the last baby that she delivers, she dies in the process. So now he's got all these kids, and there's a whole song about all the different ways that he goes about killing his kids.
Oh, wow.
Like I drowned in the bathtub. The other one was young, and I easily bested him. And I mean, it's just really creepy.
Oh, Lord.
Wow. Yeah.
And it inspired me because he writes. He's obviously I think he was a creative writing major in college, and you can tell when you listen to his songs that he's got a thesaurus next to his when he's writing. He's looking up words, but he can just create these characters that just do these horrible things, and it's great entertainment.
The Decemberists.
The Decemberists, and the name of the album is The Hazards of Love.
Yeah.
And then there's two songs by the Drive-By Truckers that I think are really kind of creepy, and they're both on their fantastic album Southern Rock.
Oh, yeah.
And the first one is the very first song. It's called Days of Graduation, and it's about two guys that go out and they're driving their cars out on the country roads. They're drunk, and in the end, once somebody has a crash and the driver is killed, and the girl that's with him, her face is kind of embedded in the dash, and it's the old kind of. I was reminded of this when you were talking about Roller Coaster of Love, just kind of the. But this is the old story of when the ambulance arrived. Aside from the girl crying, the thing that they could mainly hear was Freebird on the radio. It was still playing, and the end song, he said, it's a very, very long song.
I love it.
But it's like an old legend that, that somebody will die in a car and Freebird's playing in the stereo.
Yeah.
And then the other one on there is the very end of the album, and so that album is kind of about their Southern rock heritage, but also it's about Leonard Skinner. It kind of tells the story of Leonard Skinner. And the song at the end called Angels in Fuselage, where they are flying that last leg of their flight, and the one of the engines started shooting flames, and the pilot panicked and dumped all the gas, and it's totally quiet, and they're going down. Everybody knows they're going down, and in the end, the last of the chorus is it's I'm scared shitless for what's happening next, what's going to happen next. But then there's lines about friends in the trees, friends in the swamp. And it's just talking about the aftermath of a plane crash in the swamp in Louisiana.
Oh, that's creepy.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
So, that's a great album, start to finish.
Fantastic record.
But
they're touring on it right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That's because it was the anniversary and they re-released it.
20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see it in the Orange Peel in Nashville.
Yeah, that is the ending of that album is really
frightening.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's my creepy songs.
That's
all
great.
Right. Well, my music recommendation is a Scottish group called Ruby.
Okay.
And there was who was the fellow? The singer of the Ruby is Leslie Rankin. It's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone always thinks she's Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
But they had an album in '95. Again, it's this whole mashup of propulsive rock and propulsive, aggressive electronic. And the album's called Saltpeter. And it's kind of art rock and churning. And she's not really like a Susie in the Banshees, but she's very kind of blunt. She's sort of in a similar orbit with the creepy people and all that stuff because she's real blunt. And she has, like, for example, like a couple of her best songs are like Tiny Meat and Paraffin. You may have heard Paraffin.
No, don't. It's not ringing a bell.
The first line is something like "Old man's ass out in the garden."
I would remember that.
All that like that together. Anyways, that's when she goes, "Now I smell like paraffin." But the song I like in it, again, it's like kind of trip hop stuff. But there's a song called "Hoops" by Ruby, and it's from Saltpeter, 1995. And it's about a toxic relationship, and it's just kind of this out of control relationship, and just how angry she gets, but how they still find reward somehow. And I took this line down. She goes, "You know I hate it when you cry. It makes me want to burn your eyes out with a poker every time, then chase my tail to make you smile."
Whoa!
So it's kind of like a rewarding, toxic. So anyway, I love her character, her charisma. She's pretty unique. She's in a similar orbit to some of these other people, but she's very much her own. Leslie Rankin is pretty much her own person, and the group is Ruby.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to recommend, and you're going to have to put in the album and the band name to find them because you'll get the wrong band. There's another band with the same name. This is a Knoxville band called Melungeons, and they have an album called Blackwater Swamp. They've been recording a new album for a while. Hopefully it'll come out. But I always tell people they sound like a cross. It sounds like if Creedence Clearwater Revival had been formed in hell.
I thought they were.
I know you don't like them, but
I do not like that.
I know
You don't like them either. Oh, cool.
No, I said, how can you?
No,
not
he
like
likes
them?
them.
Oh, okay.
No, but
I don't know.
But they're swampy and they're just great blues-based rock and roll. Exactly what you'd hate, Chuck. You'd hate them.
Yeah.
But
I'm scratching the name out.
I know Deviled Ham you may like, but you won't like the Melungeons. But everybody I've introduced the Melungeons to, of course, I only introduce them to people that I think will like them.
Right.
But have loved them.
Right.
And when they played Wayne Stock one year, we had a local journalist who said he was afraid that the lead singer, Russ Harper, was going to come out and eat the audience.
I know Russ well enough
Yeah,
to know,
you know
that
Russ.
I could understand that fear.
Well, I still think Russ is the best frontman that's ever come out of Knoxville.
Yeah.
And, he's great. And the Melungeons are my favorite band that he's in. He's in Evil Twin
Yeah.
and
Teenage Love.
Teenage Love and Neo Wizard. Those are all bands
What's
he's
the
been
one he
in.
got in trouble in Atlanta, wasn't it?
That's Teenage Love. That was
Okay.
Teenage Love. Well,
Yeah.
no, that could have been Evil. I can't remember. He got in a lot of trouble with Teenage Love. Teenage Love was a punk band that they have quite a reputation, let's say. And then I think it was Evil Twin that he got arrested in Atlanta, and they all went to jail. But it's so funny because there were other bands in Atlanta like the Impotent Sea Snakes that they were doing okay down there, but no, Russ's band got arrested.
Right. Okay, so the Knoxville Melungeons.
The Knoxville
There's
Melungeons.
another Melungeons group. Blackwater
Swamp.
Blackwater Swamp.
That's what
That's
to look
scary
up.
already.
Well, and that's the thing. I chose them for this because their music is pretty scary and dark, but there's a lot of humor to it too.
Okay.
And I think you can find a video for Growl. All the music is up on YouTube and Bandcamp, but there's a video for Growl, which is
Okay.
probably their spookiest song.
Okay.
You got a movie?
Are you ready for me to spring a movie on you, Wayne?
I'm ready.
Are you sure you're ready, Wayne?
I generally like your movies.
Okay, well, this is one that it was just a few years ago. I feel like I recommended it to you, and maybe you hated it, but maybe I'm just remembering this wrong. But from 2021, Lamb.
No, I liked it.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I didn't get to see it until I think late last year.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I hounded you on it, and you saw it, and for some reason I thought
No,
maybe you were with someone who hated it. Or
No, I
something.
watched it alone because I rented it sometime. I can't remember why I watched it alone, but yeah, I liked it. It was very unsettling.
It's very unsettling. I think it's more weird than scary, but it
Yeah.
has scary and the threat of scary hanging over it.
That's the biggest
the whole
thing.
time.
Yes.
And again, as we've talked about scary movies, you can't say too much because you can't give away any
Right.
surprises. But it is about a farming couple in rural Iceland, and one of their sheep gives birth to an unusual lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen it? No. Well, I know you don't like scary movies, John, but this one is just so weird. It may, I don't know.
I'll give it a shot.
But yeah, so they take in this unusual lamb and they care for it, and they just sort of live in their own little world of sort of denial about what's going on. And then the man's brother shows up.
Right.
He's kind of a drunk and has a hots for the woman, and he just sees what's going on and kind of loses his mind. But there's a lot of quiet dread in this movie.
Yes, tons of it.
And it does have a couple of jolts. But I'm not going to say anything more about it than that.
Yeah, I mean, and the jolts I don't think are the big thing. I mean, to me, it is that it's building, and you're just so worried.
Right.
And that's the thing that got me. I mean, I really liked it, but it wasn't something you sleep well afterwards.
No. And I watched it a second time thinking maybe having seen it the first time without having any idea what was going on, maybe the second time it'll be diminished. But it was it was more intense because I knew what was going on. Because, more things, But anyway.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
But it's called Lamb. I think it was filmed in Iceland. I don't remember if it may have been a Swedish group. I don't know.
It seems like it was some sort of thing. It was funded by another country or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it has movie is in Icelandic and Swedish.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm going to recommend one that I know you will like. I don't know if
Okay.
John would like it or not, because it's Children in Danger.
Uh-oh.
It's what?
It's Children in Danger.
Name of the movie?
No. The name of the name of the movie is Tigers Are Not Afraid. It's a Mexican film from 2019. And it is the director is somebody I'd never heard of before. It's Issa Lopez.
That sounds familiar.
And
Tigers in what?
Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Tigers Are Not Afraid.
And it's a combination of horror, crime, and fantasy. And it reminded me a little bit of Guillermo del Toro, a little bit of Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Because the plot of this is this little girl lives in this town that is basically being taken over by a drug gang.
Oh, okay.
And right at the beginning, there's like a massacre at the school. I mean, they're I don't know how many people are actually killed, but they're machine gunning it. And she's on the floor, and her teacher gives her some chalk. And the chalk is sort of becomes like her little magical talisman. She goes home, and her mother's disappeared, and she has to get in with this gang of street kids. She's, an orphan at this point, out on the street, and they have to deal with the gang, and she's trying to find her mother and trying to find out what might have happened to her mother. And it has all these, there's a stuffed animal that kind of comes to life. It's so much of her imagination. Mm-hmm. And there's a ghost element to it, and there's trails of blood that lead her places.
Oh, no.
It's like the blood is like alive. The blood, it's like flowing, and it flows to where she needs to go.
Okay.
And it's really, really beautiful and really suspenseful, and it has a resolution that is a resolution.
Okay.
Unlike some of the movies I've recommended where you get to the end and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This one is like...
Well, Lamb had a resolution.
Yeah, Lamb had a resolution. And this has a resolution too.
Okay.
And I don't want to give too much away for it, but if you like things where suddenly it goes into this imaginative stuff, then this is a movie you'd like. If you liked Pan's Labyrinth, I think you'd like this.
I like surreal stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know you would like it. In fact, I think you would love it.
Okay. Yeah, we know each other pretty well.
Yeah. But I'd read about it and didn't get to see it I guess I saw it during the pandemic. But it came out.
Yeah, I think I saw Lamb. That was like one of the first movies I saw in a theater after, the theaters were open again. I felt comfortable.
Right.
And I thought, is this what going to a movie was like? Because it was so weird. And I think I was by myself, or almost by myself in the theater. So,
well, I think
everything, music and movies and TV, everything felt different than that we were seeing, because it was all colored by this background noise of the pandemic, and how your life had changed in every way. And it was hard to completely disconnect from that, for me at least, and just be in a movie like the old days.
It was hard to feel comfortable again.
Right.
Because we were so used to, of course, when we started going out, we're still wearing masks.
Still wearing masks, and you still couldn't, like the theaters wouldn't seat you. They had to have big blocks of seats between you and other people.
Yeah.
And if you heard anyone cough in the theater, you just were looking at the exit the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was.
Well, what's the? It's like the pandemic hit, and then the writer's strike, and it's like both things happened at the same time. Yeah. And it was just death for entertainment.
It has been, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that thought just occurred to me.
Do you have any recommendations, John?
I don't have any movie recommendations, but I do have 2 music recommendations.
Okay.
And I just discovered these bands this week, and I had previously never heard of them before, but I'm kind of obsessed with both of them. Both of them are English bands. One put out 4 albums between 2001 and 2008, and the name of the band is I Am Kloot, Kloot. I Am Kloot.
Is that a reference to the movie?
Kloot, the movie is Klute.
Oh, you said...
It's Kloot.
Oh, okay.
I Am Kloot.
That sounds really familiar.
Well, they're British, and it's kind of folk pop. A lot of acoustic guitars, drums, bass, all the rock accoutrement, but also there's some electric guitar, but it's not heavy rock.
Right.
And along that same, following them led me to this other band. They're British, and they're from Oxford, and they named themselves after an island in the Hebrides.
Mm-hmm.
They're called Stornoway. They're much more sort of traditional Scottish British. They use all kinds of interesting instruments, but still kind of pop, kind of Stornoway, S-T-O-R-N as in Nancy, way, Stornoway.
Okay.
And they put out, I think, 4 albums as well from 2000, about the same time period.
Okay.
I think Stornoway, they kind of got compared with the British, what were they called? They were so popular for a while. I'll think of them in a minute. I'll think of them as soon as I turn off.
Okay.
But anyway, those two I've really enjoyed both. They've got 4 albums each and good folk pop kind of stuff.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Good deal.
Well,
all right. Well,
I know, Alan. I know we could probably talk for another 20 hours about this.
oh, easily.
But we should go.
We'll just turn deviled ham on the radio or on the stereo, and it'll drive us all out.
Okay. Or I'll have a poker to burn your eyes, and then chase my tail to make you smile.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and we will talk to you again. Hope you're enjoying the show.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, art, culture, movies, whatever they want to talk about. How We Heard It was recorded in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Arbor Studio by John Baker. If you believe you've been abducted by aliens during listening to this podcast, we take no responsibility for that. How We Heard It is a Tear Owl production, and if you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne, send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. Come on back next week and we'll have another show for you.